everyone, it's Rebecca from the Glitch Stitchery and Mike, aka Mr. Glitched, here with November's Sips by box. So I've already got everything brewed and mixed and had a little paper here so we can see what we're actually drinking. So let's see, we're going to start with the Earl Grey by Choice Organics, and that one, I added sugar to all of these, just 1 teaspoon each, but I did add milk to this one and one of the other ones. So looks like this. That's a decent Earl Grey. It's not particularly special, but it's not bad. Here, you try. I mean, I would drink that. I like it. They are very hot. I got to use my new electric kettle, so I adjusted the temperature so there's the exact right brewing temperature for each of the teas, because I'm a nerd. Yeah, I like that one. Alright, so this one is Revive Mint Yapan by Yapan Brothers. So this one is Florida Yapan and Peppermint. Now we did try one other Yapan in an earlier, I have no idea if I'm pronouncing that right, I'm just guessing. We did try one of them in an earlier Sips by box, and I did not care for it. But this one does have a pretty good mint smell to it, so we'll see. They steep at a really high temperature. No, it's just not minty enough. It's not even really the tea that's it's not the Yapan that's the issue, it's just not minty. You haven't even drank enough to be doing that yet. It's just kind of eh.
I just like that.
Oh, well, you can have it then.
I will.
You can keep it. Alright, so this one is Fujian Oolong by Bare Leaves. I'm hoping I'm at least close on the pronunciation there. But lately I've been really liking oolong. I bought a little bit of oolong from one of my Asian market packages, and I've been drinking that fairly often, like almost as often as coffee, because it is really good. So hopefully this one's good too. I did add a little bit of milk to it because I add milk to the one I drink normally. So.
Oh. Long day.
I like that. It is quite a bit like the one that I've been drinking. It's very good. I don't know if you've had oolong. It's like, if I remember right, it's a step down from black tea. Isn't it like black tea, oolong, white tea, green tea?
Yeah.
I think. Red tea is in there somewhere too. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure that out.
No.
Okay, I like it. You can have that one and I'll take that one.
It's fine.
Okay. Now the last one is called Acadia by Simpson and Vale. So this one is hilarious to me. So I'm going to read you the description. Enjoy the taste of Maine in this green tea blend with the aroma of delectable blueberries. When brewed, the cup imparts a full blueberry flavor and a light citrus finish. So I want you to try this, Michael, and tell me, does this taste like our home state?
I don't know. I don't particularly go around.
What does our home state taste like? Apparently blueberries.
I mean, it tastes like lobster. Jeez.
Well, I'd rather drink a blueberry tea than a lobster tea.
It does smell like lobster. No.
No, it smells like blueberries.
It smells very much strongly like
It's a loose leaf tea, and I remember thinking how strongly it smelled of blueberries while I was scooping it. What do you think?
Ooh.
Oh, okay, he likes it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you want me to share?
Let me I haven't tried it yet. Just a sip,
All
and then you
right,
can take the whole thing.
Sip.
Well, it's definitely blueberry. You can keep that one. I'm really not. What? I don't know. I don't like it. It's just okay. It does tastes kind of like blueberry granola. It's probably the...
She's not feeling good.
I prefer the oolong.
No, I know she's definitely not feeling good.
No, but I do really like oolong. Like, it's right up there with Earl Grey for me now. So.
Not bad. Yes, yes.
You're going to have to say which one, because they can't actually see the cups. So.
Well, fine.
Earl Grey.
Was that just regular Earl Grey?
Earl Grey by Choice Organics. It wasn't the flavored one.
The first one, the organic Earl Grey, whatever. Yes. I don't know what that was.
The Revived Mint.
I liked it. She wasn't too keen on it. And this one.
You like the Acadia.
And the blueberry.
Alright, I like the Earl Grey. I'd say it's a solid Earl Grey. Not fancy, but good. Revived Mint, not minty enough for me. I like my mint teas to punch me in the face.
That's true, she does.
I want to smell it like 3 rooms away. I want it to be the mintiest minty you've ever had in your life.
She's weird like that, but that's okay.
I just really like mint. Fujian Oolong, very good. I'll be buying that. I like it quite a bit.
Oh, that nasty little
Acadia. I don't know, I'm just not huge on fruit tea. I get them because I know you like them, but I don't actually care.
No, you neither.
Alright, so now for the actual project for this particular Sips and Stitches. Now when I first started crocheting, this is one of the projects I went back to over and over again because they're really convenient to take with you places and just make wherever you go. And that is just fingerless. I usually call them fingerless gloves. I've also seen them called fingerless mitts. It doesn't really matter. This is the absolute easiest pattern I make ever. And they're very quick. So if you need a project to take to a doctor's office or to make really quick as a gift for someone, this would be it. So this pair I just used some scraps of Malabrigo worsted and in 2 different colors. And when you work it this way, it almost looks like flowers. And then this one I'm making with some chunky hand spun. It's the Rambouillet breed study I did earlier. And you can use pretty much whatever yarn you want for this. Just keep in mind that if you use a chunkier yarn, your shells will be a little bigger. If you use a thinner yarn, your shells will be a little smaller. So you'll have to keep that in mind and try it on while you are making them. So I did have some little bit of notes here. If you're working in a worsted or chunky yarn and you want to make a child size pair, you would start with a chain of 25. The average size, which is the pair I'm making, you start with a chain of 30. And for large, it's going to be 35 or 40, but you're definitely going to want to try them on. And also, if you're using a smaller yarn, you might want to do the 35 or 40. So it's mostly worked in the shell stitch, which is 2 double crochet, chain 1, 2 double crochet, and then they're worked into the chain space of the previous shell. The part that you're trying to fit is the widest part of your hand here. If it fits over this part, then you know you're making the right size. So we can get started on that. We're going to be making it to match this one here, so I'm just going to chain 30. Alright, so you're going to join that into a loop and try not to twist it, although with this pattern it's not the end of the world at this point if you twist it, because you can just fix it in the next step. So try not to, but if you do it, it's not going to break you. Alright, so for the setting up the shell, the first row, the first shell of each row, you're going to chain 2, and then working into the same space, going to double crochet 1, chain 1, and then double crochet 2, and you're going to count the chain spaces 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In the 5th space, you are going to do 2 double crochet, chain 1, 2 double crochet. And you're going to keep going around like that. Every 5 chains, you're going to make a shell. For the size I'm making, I'll have 6 shells per row or round, I guess round, when I'm done. So let's go do that. And then at the end of the row, you're going to slip into the top of the first double crochet and then slip into the first chain space. All right, so for row 2, it starts off the same as row 1. So chain 2, and working into the chain space, double crochet, chain 1, 2 double crochet, and you're just going to work that shell stitch into the top chain space of each of the previous shells. And this would be when you would want to try it on and make sure it fits that widest part of your hand. If it's too tight, then you're going to want to go a size up. If it's too loose, you're going to want to go a size down. So I'm using a J hook. In the past, before my gauge tightened up, I used to use a 5.5 millimeter. This is a 6 millimeter. So just use the one that feels right for you to get the size you want. So to match this pair, to match this glove so it's a pair, we're going to be doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows of shells before we get to the thumb. So I am going to go off camera and finish that up, and I will come back for the thumb split. Alright, so we got our 6 rows done. Now we're going to do the thumb hole. So starts with a normal shell, just like you did on the other rows. I don't know why I bothered putting yarn in a ball, it just is constantly in my way. Alright, so to create the thumb hole, we're going to be skipping this shell and working into this shell. So first we're going to chain 5, skip this second shell in this row, and work a shell into the third shell. And then after that, you're just going to work this row normally. So the other 3 shells are just normal shells, and you join it back together like you did all the other ones. There probably is a way to work this pattern in a spiral instead of joined rounds. I just don't feel like working that out right now. I feel like spiral shells look really cool, but I'm pretty sure the fabric would end up a little cockeyed, so probably not something I'm going to be working on anytime soon. All right, join together. Now for this row, we're going to work this shell, and then in this chain space where we made the thumb hole, you're going to work a shell in the third chain space, and then you're just going to work the rest of it like normal, and that's how you get it back to being the normal rows. So after that, it just goes back to being the same as the first 6 were. One, two, three. And I love shell stitch because I've used it a lot. It is one of the first interesting stitches I learned. So it is something I can do really, really fast. Usually a pair of these takes me less than an hour for a standard length. One of my relatives tends to request a long length pair, which is just extra rows at the beginning to make it a lot longer. Those take me more like an hour and a half, but it's still a very fast project. And since it's just scraps of whatever you have left over, it's not a very expensive project either. Alright, so all that's left to do at this point is a couple more rows. I usually like to get it so that the top rests right here. Here, I'll show you with this one. So yeah, right about the base of my fingers is where I want the top to go. You can go longer if you want, so you can have a little bit more warmth, but that can kind of cramp your range of motion a little bit, and ideally I like being able to use all my fingers. So I'm just going to do 2 more rows and these will be all set. Alright, so all of the crocheting for these is done, and you might be thinking these look a little different, and there's a reason for that. So usually when I'm making these, I make them in the car or just like when I'm waiting for an appointment because they're super fast. And that means I usually don't have a needle with me, so I sew the ends in with this crochet hook. And it's pretty easy. You just choose a spot on what you are going to have as the inside of the glove, and you loop it through. And if you do it right, it won't come undone later. Ideally, I try to twist it in a few different directions and have it go a little bit all over the place, because if it's in a straight line, it's more likely to pull out and come unraveled than it is if you move it around a lot. So there's that. See how it's like a zigzag. So the reason they look different is because the last step is turning it inside out. For whatever reason, shell stitch looks a little different on each side. So now they look the same. And that is it. These are super, super easy and super, super fast. There we go. They don't really work with a watch very well, but other than that, I make these a lot. I have a few family members who actually have me make them a new pair of these almost every year. So I guess they really like them. So if you need a really quick project, this is it. This is yours. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to be finishing it up now and finishing off all that tea I tried earlier. I will be back soon with another one. So thank you again for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.